Guys, welcome to module number 14. This is the counseling applications for this final helping approach that we are covering in our class, William Glasser's reality theory. If you've looked at the syllabus, then you know that there are 14 modules in this class. Well, if this is module 14, you know what that means. This is our final module. This is my final little mini lecture video that I'm going to be posting for you. And again, I hope that you have had a great semester, have learned a lot. I hope that you have learned a lot about yourself in this class. I hope that you have learned some new information, or maybe stuff you already knew, maybe it's been reinforced for you, and that it's helped you, and it can and will help you personally, but also too, it will help you for those of you who have a desire to go forward and you're planning to go forward and work in the social services field. I hope that you take lots of good information with you as you go out and help other people to make different choices in their lives and to improve their lives as you serve them and help them to deal with whatever it is that they're facing. So again, hope that you enjoyed this class. I hope that you will come and join me on campus or on the Montgomery campus or in any future online classes that I'm teaching. I would be honored to have you again in class with me. Hope that you enjoyed this semester. So reality theory, let's talk a little bit about some counseling applications from reality theory. So we talked last module about how this is a theory that, again, really focuses mainly on the idea of choice. It's focused more on the here and now. It's focused more on relationships. It's focused, it rejects the idea of using lots of behavioral labels. But man, the main thing from reality theory that I want you to sort of take with you is that this is a theory that views all behavior as choice, and that we make choices based on our five basic needs, these five basic emotional and psychological needs. And that's how we can make sense of our behavior, is number one, seeing it first as choice. No one makes us do anything. And number two, understanding that the choice that we made probably was for a reason. It was us trying to meet one of those five basic needs that we have. Now that doesn't mean that we always make good choices. Sometimes we can make poor choices. And that's really kind of where the center of this theory sort of is all about, is this. So I'm going to mention to you just a core foundational idea I mentioned in your lecture notes as well. Key idea with reality theory is this, if from an application standpoint. Um, this theory, the main thing we try to do with this type of an approach is we do kind of like we do with CBT. We got to do a little bit of teaching. Now, teaching doesn't mean we tell clients what to do. It just means that through the use of questions or statements or exercises or examples or whatever, we have to sort of teach and kind of encourage clients and challenge them to consider this, that all of their behavior is choice, that all they do all day long is make decisions and choose. The idea that a lot of times the reason why we have problems is because of our choices. My problems are not because of my girlfriend or my wife. The problems are not because of how I grew up. My problems aren't because of the fact that I got no money in my wallet. Those are side issues. This theory says it's not about those issues. What really is what creates the most problems for us are the choices that we make. Different life, different choices, right? Let me give you a sort of a phrase. Here's a good William Glasser phrase. I'll just mention it to you. Glasser used to say this theory would teach this idea. The quality of one's life is directly connected to the quality of the choices that one makes in one's life. I'm going to say that again. The quality of one's life is directly connected to the quality of the choices that one makes in one's life. You and I both know, maybe some of us even, we do this ourselves. A lot of times we go through life with kind of a victim mentality. We go through life thinking that the world is random and life is random, and we don't know why, what goes on around us. We sort of feel kind of powerless, all that kind of stuff, right? And this theory rejects all that. This theory sort of teaches that you and I are where we are in our lives because of the choices that we've made, for better or worse. That wherever we are in our lives today is because we have steered ourselves there. We have steered ourselves there through our choices. And the quality of our lives is directly connected to the quality of the choices that we make in our lives. I put this other saying in your notes this week, in your lecture notes. This theory would say this: if a client fails to see that their problems exist because of their own personal choices, there is little room for progress or change. If a client fails to see that their problems exist because of their personal choices, there is no room for progress or for change. So again, it promotes this theory, as you can tell, promotes the idea of personal responsibility. It promotes the idea of choice, which puts us sort of in the driver's seat to an extent, and it removes the possibility, although we can try to blame other people or situations. It's all about choice and power and control. And so again, the idea of this is a theory that kind of has some existential theory kind of components to it, as we talked about in our last module. So the idea of helping clients to reframe their behavior as choice and to realize that the choices that they make and are making every day, that you and I make every day, that is what really determines where we are, where we go, and the quality of our lives. That's sort of the first key idea. And then there's this second idea given in your lecture notes, which is a great little tool that I have used before in my experience in working with students or with clients before. It's this 4-letter acronym, WDEP. This is an idea that kind of comes out of reality theory. And I have used this before in many, 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 many settings. This is an idea that William Glasser developed. One of the things that Glasser realized when he was developing reality theory back in the day, remember in the last video I said to you, he really worked in the state of California primarily with men who had both substance abuse problems and mental health problems, and they were involved in the criminal justice system. So difficult clients. And part of what he found was that oftentimes these guys would make their situations complicated when they'd have to be complicated. And he wanted to come up with a very straightforward way of helping them to get kind of a vision of what they want to do different. And he came up with this 4-step process, so to speak. WDEP. W stands for wants. So one of the things that Glasser would ask his clients is, what are you looking for? What are you after? What do you want? So after we sort of coach people and talk to people about the idea of behavior equals choice, and the behavior that we engage in is really us looking for one of those 5, trying to meet one of those 5 basic needs or a combination of those needs. The first question is, what am I looking for? W is wants. What am I looking for? You know, what am I after? These choices, these decisions that I keep making in my life, what am I looking for? You know, what am I looking for? D stands for direction. And what that means is, what choices am I making? What do I want? What am I looking for? D is, what am I doing, or what direction am I going in? That really is about choices. What do I want? What am I doing? So what kinds of decisions and choices do I make as I'm trying to meet those needs? Wants, doing, or direction. WD. E stands for evaluation. And a good question that we could ask ourselves, or a client could ask, a therapist or counselor could ask their client after the person talks about the choices that they make, would be a question like this. So how does that work for you then? So how does that work out? The choices that you make, that's D, right? Direction or doing. So how does that work? Does it work well? Well, no, the problem is I get upset at my boss and then I get in trouble. So that's not working real well. Okay, but you're trying to get your boss to listen to you. You're wanting your boss to hear you. You want your boss to respect what you have to say. Okay, that makes sense, because all of us want that. And so what do? You sort of speak up and go and talk to him about what's going on. How does that work? Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work out. So that's E is evaluation. P is plan. So the question with plan is, what else could you do then? If it's not working, if the answer to the E question, which is, how's that working? If the answer to that is not very well, then the follow-up question is, so what else could you try? What else could you do that could help you be heard by your boss? Using that example. What are you looking for? W, wants. What are you doing? What direction are you going in? What choices are you making? That's D. E, so how does that work? Think about it. Does that work well for? Let's not make the same mistake over and over and over again. Is it working? Let's not do what doesn't work. Let's not keep doing what doesn't work. That's E, evaluation. P is plan. So what else could you do? What else could you try? And that's where you start problem solving with people. You know, well, maybe I could do this, maybe I could do this. Okay, you're kind of brainstorming with people. In counseling, of course, we never tell people what to do, but we help them sometimes generate options and ideas and think through what their plan is and help them just kind of problem solve. We do that all the time in helping, right? And so that would be part of P, plan. W, D, E, P. W, wants. D, direction or doing. E, evaluation. P, plan. What are you looking for? W. What are you doing? What choices are you making? D. How is that working? When you make those choices, how does it turn out? Does it help you to meet your need, or does it not? That's evaluation. P is where P is, so what else could you try? What else could you do? WDEP. Really, really basic. And again, helping people in dealing with their problems and issues in life is not always that easy. But I can speak from personal experience in my work in counseling, and even as a professor sometimes, when students bring me issues and problems, and Professor Keen, I don't know what, I'm trying to struggle, I don't know, whatever. A lot of times, well, what are you looking for? What have you tried? How did it work? Oh, it didn't work. What else could you try? Right? Just real simple, WDEP. That's kind of what that is, right? So it's a great little kind of a, kind of a little acronym. It's a little intervention. It's a little model to kind of follow when it comes to helping people to think through their choices, to identify what they're needing and looking for, which is really, really important, to identify how behavior and choices is connected to needs. That's W and D, right? But also, too, the danger. A lot of times as people, we just keep making the same decisions over and over and over and over. They aren't working, but we just keep going back, right? Because it's what we know and it's what we're comfortable with or whatever it may be. That's why E, evaluation, is so important. So how is that working? And then P is important. If it's not working, what else could you try? It's where growth comes in. It's where problem solving comes in. It's where something different, something new direction kind of comes in, right? That's all P. W, D, E, P. So for this module, key idea is helping people to reframe their behavior as choice and understand that the quality of the choices that we make directly influences the quality of our lives. That's the first key idea when it comes to reality theory helping. And the second idea is this acronym WDEP, wants, direction or doing, evaluation, and plan. So as always, go into the textbook and read a little bit about what Corey has to write about reality theory. Do your homework, do your discussion questions, look at the lecture notes. Whenever you are done with this module and you do quiz number 4, you are done with the class and you are on your way to whatever you have next. I will see you hopefully next time I see you. Have a good one.